Let's get rolling. I'm so glad you're all here. I'm going to keep an eye on the room and just see if people start wandering in. And I'm recording this, but I'm the one that's pinned. So you're not going to be seen. You can lay on the floor. You can get a drink. You can go to the pot. Like, take good care of you. Do whatever you need to survive the next few minutes. Sometimes it can be intense to be in Zoom calls all week because you're looking at your face and it's different than having a normal conversation. So if you want to turn your video off, turn it off. Do whatever you like. I want to outline what the fall reset is. I want to tell what we're doing week 1. And then we'll save some time at the end. If anybody has questions, you can ask me questions. Okay, so let's just get right into it. This is a 21-day reset. So every Saturday at noon, you're going to get an email from me that lists your tasks for the week. The week starts on Monday, goes until Sunday. So that's your week 1. It'll start on Monday. If you want to get the jump on it, you certainly can and start doing stuff today or tomorrow. Our themes are move your body, feed your body, and rest or sleep. And so week 1 is squats. I'm going to ask you to do squats 3 times a day. That could be getting up and down out of a dining chair. That could be a low, like that toddler squat, a baby squat, whatever squatting means to you. The food portion is I'm going to ask you to be aware of what you eat, how you eat, and when. So noticing, who do I eat with? Do I eat alone or with people? Do I eat fast or slow? When I eat this food, how does my tummy feel later? Am I eating because I'm hungry, or am I thirsty? Am I bored? Am I just feeling kind of snacky? And this isn't good, bad, right, wrong, just noticing. Then you can either text me, you can email me, you could write in a journal, you could keep a log on your phone. So that's the food component, week 1. And then the morning routine that is getting us to a good night's sleep is go stand outside and get some light in your eyeballs. Within an hour of waking, go for 5 minutes, stand outside, light in your eyes. So it's different than being indoors looking out a window. Ideally, no sunglasses. You can wear glasses or contacts, but you are out of doors. So that light hitting your eyeballs in the morning sets your brain to go, wakey, wakey, eggs and bakey, it's time to be awake. Then that's getting your circadian rhythm going so that when it's time to go night-night, your brain will then go, okay, now it's dark, now it's night. So I got some other things for like nighttime routine we're going to do later, but that's your morning thing to help you sleep that night. Yeah, I'm going to pause there. I wrote a little list of notes so I can stay on track. Does anyone wish to try my little parlor trick that I have for today? If you do, go grab 2 to 3 consumables. And by that, I mean something you would eat or drink. Here's what I have nearby. I have 2 different types of supplements and an apple and a lemon. So it could be something that you know you enjoy eating, something you don't enjoy eating if you got it in the house because your kid snacks on it or whatever. I'm going to show this. And then if you want to do it with me, you can. If you want to just watch me do it quickly today, I'll show you what this is. You could try it later. And so this is my quick test to see, is this something I should be eating right now? And so this is not a peer-reviewed, scientifically backed, a blind study, right? This is just me holding a thing. Okay, so here's what it is. I have one type of supplement here that this is kind of rigged because I know that I take this and I like it. So all I'm going to do is hold it in front of my belly and I'm going to close my eyes and just stand here and take a few deep breaths. So I'm not doing anything. So can you see what's happening? So I didn't do that. I didn't lean forward intentionally. Could you see how my body leaned forward? So my body goes, that's good. It's something I should be taking. This is another supplement. I'm just going to hold it in front of my belly and take a big deep breath. I'm going to close my eyes. So I'm just kind of hanging out waiting. Can you see how my weight went back? So I don't have to tell you what brand it is. It doesn't matter. But this is a probiotic supplement. And so I found this in the back of the cabinet. I was like, oh, probiotics. This is so good. I'm going to take, and I took it and my tummy hurt. And I'm like, oh, probiotics are good. But for whatever reason, this thing in this jar is not what my body needs right now. So that's a quick way to tell, should I eat this particular food? So you could try it with foods. You could try it with anything that you're going to put in your mouth. So does that make sense? That's what I'm calling my little parlor trick. Yeah. So it's a nice, quick, easy way to see, should I be eating this thing? So let's quick talk about the importance of being aware of what you're eating and how you're eating and when you're eating. Does anybody eat in the car or eat standing up? Is that something anybody does? Yeah. Okay. So years ago, I had a meal. I shared a meal with this Japanese woman, and she would take one small bite of her sandwich, and then she would pause, and she would dab her napkin, and then put her hands on the table. And I felt like a donkey eating with her. I'm chewing, and I'm like talking with my mouth, and I'm like, yeah. So this burned in my brain, this image of eating with her. This is a cultural thing, right? This is just how, I guess, how everybody in Japan eats. But I thought, I bet she does not have heartburn or indigestion. She was eating so slowly and thoughtfully and taking her sweet time. I bet it took her 45 minutes to finish her sandwich because she was eating slowly. So this is my story to tell you why this is important, right? To eat slowly and to be aware of your food. Part of what we're doing over the next 3 weeks is just bringing some awareness to you, to how you take good care of your body. Okay, what else do I have on my list? Anybody need a squat demo? When I say squat, does that make sense? What I'm asking you to do? Yeah. So I'm going to send some videos out that goes with each of these emails. A squat could literally be, I'm getting up and down from a chair. Like that's a version of a squat. If you are able to work yourself lower to where you're sitting on something, oftentimes, and again, to go back to food, a lot of cultures prepare and eat food sitting on the floor. That's unusual for us, but it's not so unusual other places. So part of why I'm asking you to do all this stuff is to have this mobility, this hip mobility, so that when you're 80, you can get off the toilet. Yeah. Speaking of toilet, I have a door prize for us today, for everybody that's in attendance. And my door prize is a squatty potty. So in about 5 minutes, we're going to give away our squatty potty. All or nothing thinking. That's what else I want to talk about. I'm going to send an article out today at noon that this woman talks about all or nothing thinking. So I want you to think about, for the next 3 weeks, what is success to you? What does success mean to you for this short-term project? And could it mean there's one thing you take away from this list of goodies that I'm sending you? And it doesn't necessarily mean you have to do everything on this list. If you're busy, if you've got a full-time job and you've got older parents you're taking care of or small kids, this could be that you do one of the 3 things. So I want you to think about your ideas about success and this all or nothing. If I don't do everything on it, so my high achievers, my overachievers, right? That could be very hard for you. That could be a challenge to think, I'm going to do one of these things and I'm going to still be successful. Maybe you get to all the things. And if you do, hooray. I'm going to pause right now because I whipped through all this so quickly. I'm so proud of myself. Does anybody have any questions about what we're doing this week or why I have this philosophy around movement, eating, rest, and good sleep? Let's go ahead and do our giveaway then. Yeah. Okay, there's what?
And can I just chime in?
Please do.
I just want to say this is such a refreshing approach that it's really resonating with me because I've participated in different kinds of things around health and eating and stuff. And it tends to trigger my overachiever where, I think that, what you're talking about, just doing the all or nothing thing. And I find myself maybe doing helpful things in a less than healthy way. And, what you're talking about is just so refreshing that I don't have to do the overachiever thing. I can approach this whole reset with a different kind of energy and mindset. And I don't know, it's just really resonating. Thank you.
Carla, I'm loving this. Even in the name of health and wellness, we can do these like punishing things to ourselves.
Yeah. I have to check up all the things. Yeah. And turn it into like another to-do list or project or thing that triggers stress and adrenaline and all the stuff that we're not trying to do.
Right. And this is my thing against good foods and bad foods. And I could do a 90-minute presentation on just like the food stuff and how crazy our culture is around eating and what we should and shouldn't be eating. So if you, and this is the thing of awareness, right? If you want a grilled cheese sandwich, have a grilled cheese sandwich. If you can look at your whole week or your whole month and go, I had a salad, and then I had some steamed vegetables, and then I had a little piece of chocolate. And then I went to a birthday party and I had a small piece of cake and it hit all my nummies. Like if you ate the entire cake yourself, that would probably make your tummy hurt. That probably would not be.
Yeah.
So yeah, my best girlfriend, she has these 2 little boys. And once every 6 months, it's not super often, once a year, they let the kids eat whatever they want for the entire day. They can have candy bars, and by noon, both of them are like, oh, I don't feel so good. So it's a way to get them to understand, like when we tell you to have a piece of fruit when you're hungry, this is why. Like you can have a little chocolate once a week, a little candy at Halloween. But what are you doing 80% of the time, 90%? What are you doing most of the time? And are you doing things that make you feel good? Or are you doing things that make you feel bad? And by bad, I mean like I had an adverse physical reaction to that. And sometimes you have a crap day and a bowl of ice cream is exactly what you need, right? So like this like I can always and never around food, like just throw that away, because really, what do I do most of the time? And then a one-off here, whatever. And the part of what we're going to talk about this week is, can I set myself up for success? So if I open the refrigerator and there's this wall of brightly colored cut up fruits and vegetables, and I've already got my chicken breasts ready to go, I've got cooked proteins and grains, I'm going to be able to easily throw together a bowl, a stir fry, something, 5 minutes, I got dinner on the table. If I open the fridge and it's a bunch of frozen chicken and a stalk of celery, like, oh, now I got to cut it up. Now, so how can you make it easy for you? How can you present yourself with less options or options that are good options, good for you? We make so many decisions during the day. The last thing you need to do at 6, 7 o'clock at night is make another decision, try to figure something out. You're out of that. That has run out of the day. Your decision-making powers are diminished. So what?
Well, and also, the environment that you're eating in, when you talked about standing up, I don't do that quite so much anymore. But there's still times where I let myself get too hungry, and then I'm just like standing up, eating whatever, I can find that feels like it would be tasty at the time. And still eating too fast when I do sit down to eat. So yeah, those were just really, really hit home. Thank you.
I think if all we did as a culture was ate more slowly, that would solve a lot of our food issues. Right?
And to give yourself permission to do that and not be, looking at your phone or, preoccupied with whatever.
They say that really you're supposed to eat with nothing. You're not supposed to read or watch TV. I like to read, like I get magazines in the mail, still like paper magazines. And so I do like to sit and read. That feels relaxing to me. But even that, I'm not totally paying attention to what I'm eating. So I did a meditation years ago with Denise Gower. She's a local mental health practitioner, yogini. And she literally had us take a raisin and put it in our cheek. And I want to say we sat there for like 5 minutes with the raisin in our cheek. Then we took the raisin and we just munched between our back teeth and held it there. Then we took the half smushed raisin. And I mean, this was a 20-minute process eating one raisin. And there was all these textures and different flavors. And it was like, it's just it was amazing to go through that process of awareness and just sit with a dang raisin for 20 minutes. And, the whole thing about it takes 20 minutes for the message to get from your brain, from your belly to your brain, that you're full. So by the time you're full, almost full, you typically have gone past that. So if you ever eat a meal where you're like, oh, now I ate too much, but you didn't know because you were eating it so quick, right? Now, having said that, it is good to eat meals with other people. I'm not saying you need to sit in solitude and complete silence. There is a thing about sharing food with people, sharing meals with people. Like that is a huge positive. That's a good thing to do. But that can also backfire because if, like, when I first started dating Eric, I was sort of matching his portion. So he ate a burrito, I ate a burrito, and I was like, why did I gain 5 pounds? And then I realized, like, he's got 75 pounds on you. Like, he's a bigger person than you. You don't need to eat exactly what he does. You can eat a smaller portion of the same thing. So if you have friends that tend to eat healthier, or friends that tend to kind of pull you down, just thinking of that, like, am I going to be peer pressured into healthier eating, or possibly eating things that maybe I don't need to be eating right now? Do my friends drink alcohol with meals or not? Like, there's a lot of this stuff and none of this is good or bad, but how is this going to affect me tomorrow? How am I going to feel? How am I going to sleep tonight? So I'm hoping to weave all these little things together, to sleep, movement, food, so that you can take this big picture and go, oh yeah, what are some little things I could tweak to feel better? I want to feel good. I want to go into fall where weather's changing. We're getting out our jeans and sweaters. Like, what do I want to do with this shift? And how can I shift myself? Little tiny shifts for the better. Yeah. Let's do squatty potty. What is a squatty potty? It is a step stool that goes in front of your toilet so that you pull it out and you sit on it like this. And when your knee is higher than your hip, your little chute is straight. When your knee is lower than your hip, there's a little kink in your little poop tube. So when you put your knee higher than your hip, whoop, you got a straight line to the toilet. I'm not kidding, I'm serious. Heather's nodding. Okay, let's pick a number between 1 and 20, and you can either type it in the chat or say it out loud. There's a small group of us if you want to yell out your number. And I'm going to write my number down on my piece of paper here, and you can think your number or say it out loud. Okay, I wrote down my numbers. Everybody got a number? Say it. 14. 9. Carla's 14, between 1 and 20. What'd you say, Heather?
9.
9. Anybody else want to put a number?
7.
Jody says 7.
Whoa.
I'm gonna go. I already have one, so I'll see you all later.
Okay, bye, Kathy.
Bye.
All right, my number.
It's great.
See, don't think I was cheating. My number was 2. Who was closest to 2? Was that Heather? Heather was a 9.
Anyone else lower than 9? Oh my God, I won it.
Heather is getting a squatty potty.
Woo! I feel like I won the lottery.
She's won the lottery. Okay, that was exactly what I wanted to do, was just quickly go over what we were doing. Does anybody have questions? I want to do this in less than 30 minutes. It's been 20 minutes. Anybody have hopes and dreams? Anybody want to say what their goal is for the next 3 weeks?
I want to sleep better.
Sleep better.
Yeah, sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I want to feel really good in my body. And when I look at my body without clothes on, I want to just feel just really happy and grateful.
Looking good naked and feeling good in your body, that is a valuable goal. That's an excellent goal to have, I mean, part of the reason I work out is I want to have a perky butt. Like, that's a completely normal goal. It can be I want to look a certain way. I want to feel a certain way. Do either of y'all ladies, can you think off the top of your head of what are some of your impediments to a good night's sleep right now? Can you think, oh, I know I should be doing more of this or less of this, or?
Well, even if I go to bed early, I tend to wake up at like 2 or 3. And then I have a hard time falling back asleep.
So waking up in the middle of the night,
Mm-hmm.
and not being able to go back to sleep. Mm-hmm. And I think some of this, especially for us ladies nearing or around menopause and postmenopausal, there's something that happens 40s, 50s. And of course, like chemicals, hormones, there's a lot going on in our bodies during that time. But I hear this a lot, is I fall asleep and then I wake up 2 a.m., 4 a.m., somewhere in that window.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to experiment with some ideas on morning routines, evening routines, things you can do to help you fall asleep and stay asleep. Unfortunately, there is no magic bullet. You got to experiment with me and just see what works for you. But this will be interesting to try this thing this week and see if going out first thing in the morning and getting sunlight on your eyeballs, if that does anything as far as your setting up your rhythm. All right. Anybody else have thoughts or comments before we?
I have another question. So I know that you're going to be sending us the resources that we're supposed to do. Are we going to have any like Zoom check-ins with you each
Oh,
week?
thank you. That was what I wanted to ask.
Because I think that would, I know for me, that would help me be accountable, and it would be great to hear from the other people, you know, what they're doing, what's working, what's not.
What would be ideal for you, Carla, as far as accountability? Do you want to check in every week? Do you want an accountability buddy? See, Carla, that was her task for me this week, was to get a buddy on social media.
Yeah. Are you planning to do this kind of like a quick check-in every week or not?
You know, this was the first one of these, and this is a little different than the ones I've done in the past. So this is an experiment for me as well as for y'all. I wanted to see what the level of interest was, if people were around on a Saturday, and if you were into
I would love a quick, you know, this kind of thing, like 20 minutes, where we just do this kind of a thing.
And is this a good time for you?
It is for me.
Let's just do
I'm
this.
flexible. I mean, I could do it earlier. I probably wouldn't want to do it later just because it cuts into the
Right. Let's do this again next week. Do a little 20 minutes, 11 to 11:20 on Saturday.
That'd be awesome.
All right, let's do it.
Good.
All right, Jody, any thoughts, any questions? Heather? All
No.
right, we're doing it. It's happening. You're going to get an email in about a half an hour from me with your tasks and some videos and some links. And then if you're around next week at 11, join our Zoom. We'll do another little check-in. Yeah. This is going to be fun. Fun experiment, a chance for you to be your own test case, your own little experiment, your own little science project. All right, ladies, I appreciate you. Thank
you, Anne.